Hello, I'm the 10-minute English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today, we're analysing the key quote, "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more" from Macbeth. And this video comes with a worksheet, so after you've finished watching this tutorial, feel free to click the link in the description to help yourself to a knowledge organiser. Before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe. There are plenty of things on the channel to help you understand the plate like an expert. Okay, let's analyse the quote, "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more." So here's Macbeth, and this is what he has to say. He says, "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more." And the first thing we need is to understand where this quote appears in the text. Macbeth says this to the witches in Act 1, Scene 3, after they share their prophecies with him and Banquo. So we don't meet Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 1. That's where the witches tell us that they're going to be meeting Macbeth when he passes by. In Act 1, Scene 2, King Duncan's told all about Macbeth and how brave he is. We're waiting to see Macbeth and meet him for ourselves, and this is where we do. And the witches block his path as he's on his way home, and they share the prophecy with him. They tell him that he is the Thane of Glamis, so they know his name. They tell him he's going to become the Thane of Cawdor. We know that's about to be the case for him. And then they tell him that he's one day going to be the king. So this prophecy is fascinating to Macbeth, and he wants to find out a lot more from the witches. So some analytical things we can say about this moment. We could say that the use of the adjective imperfect reflects the idea that Macbeth recognises they are evil, but he still wants to trust them anyway. He's driven by ambition, he's got a thirst for power, and the idea of him being king is far too exciting for him to simply walk away from that idea, and he wants to hear much more from the witches, even though he knows they're evil. Something else we could say about this moment. Macbeth's use of imperatives here shows that he wishes to command the witches. He wants them to serve him to suit his desires. So we've got "stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more." He's trying to command them. He wants them to serve him. So that's reflected by his use of language here. Those imperatives that he uses reflects the idea that he wants them to serve him. Something else that we could say is that the use of iambic pentameter here shows how Macbeth feels empowered and emboldened by what he has heard. So we've got this meter, and the use of this meter here reflects the idea that he's emboldened by this. It gives him a sense of power to hear this prophecy being told that he might become king. So the meter here is reflecting the idea that he's got newfound confidence having heard this from them. We could also say something about the context. So we think about who this audience was originally. It was the Jacobean audience. And what would they have thought? Well, they would have been shocked to have seen the title character wishing to solicit with witches. He is keen to hear more from them. He should be very, very distrusting of witchcraft and the supernatural, but here he is embracing their message and their ideas and wanting to hear more from them. So Macbeth, our title character, our first impressions of him before meeting him are relatively positive, and then straight away we've met Macbeth on stage, and he is already beginning to engage with witchcraft and embrace that supernatural world that he should be shunning. So they'd be shocked to see this, and this would be something that they'd recognise is likely to inform his downfall. We can make a really good link and comparison here, because in the same scene, Banquo says, "Can the devil speak true?" So here's a comparison that we can make using that link to this moment. Banquo's response to the witches contrasts Macbeth. It's different. He doesn't want to command them. He questions their intentions. This interrogative here reflects the idea that he's got a very converse way of looking at them instead, and he associates them with the devil and therefore damnation. So whereas Macbeth is saying, "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more," Banquo's response is to question their intentions. Can the devil speak true? So two very different characters now on very different paths. So we've got this quote that's a definite quote to know. "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more." And the last thing that we need to think about is essay themes that this could fit. So these are some keywords that you could be posed with for essays, and we can think about how they might suit this quote. We've got Macbeth. If you're asked about Macbeth, this is a key moment. It reflects a change in Macbeth and his course and direction in the play. So if we're writing about Macbeth, we can talk about the impact that the prophecy has on him. It's quite interesting. A lot of people would suggest that Lady Macbeth is the driving force, but in actuality, these intrusive thoughts start to appear in Macbeth's mind long before he's reached home to find out her plans. If we're talking about evil, well, he is about to embark on a journey of evil himself, but of course he is understanding the evil in them, but he's still encouraging more messages from them, and he wants to command them. So he's embracing evil here in this moment. If we're talking about fears, well, he should be afraid of these witches, but instead he's wanting to hear more from them, and this trust in them is going to lead to all sorts of fears for Macbeth. Ambition. The fact that Macbeth is an ambitious character and hearing about being king is something that changes him, is something you could explore if you're asked to write about ambition. If we're talking about power, well, Macbeth is someone who's thirsty for power, and this idea of being king is something that changes him, and it's this moment that he finds out about that, and this is his response to that. If we're talking about the supernatural, well, Macbeth is embracing their message and wanting to find out more. And if we're talking about control, well, he wants to control the witches, and ultimately this is going to inform his downfall. He thinks they're going to serve his ends, and he wants them to serve him. But of course, we know that that is not going to be something that's going to lead to success for Macbeth, and it's going to inform his tragic downfall in the play. So if we're going to be writing about the text using this quote, we would start with a point, and I'm going to finish off showing you an example of a model paragraph. So here's a point that we could make. Macbeth's trust in the supernatural leads him on a path to committing evil acts to achieve his ambition. So he speaks to the witches. That leads him to committing all sorts of terrible atrocities in order to achieve his ambitions and dreams. This is a great little sentence because I've tried to fit as many keywords as I can in it. If we were asked about Macbeth, well, I'm writing about Macbeth. If I'm writing about trust, he's trusting the witches. They are supernatural. He's going to commit evil. They are evil. And all of this is because of his ambitions. So this is a moment that fits all sorts of different essays. And once I've written my point, I simply use the evidence. Macbeth says in Act 1, Scene 3, "Stay you imperfect speakers, tell me more." Once I've done that, it's my time to say some clever things about the quote. And here's that example using some of those ideas that we've talked about today. Macbeth uses imperatives here to command the witches. He uses the adjective imperfect, which shows he recognises they're evil, but he's ready to trust in them regardless, which will ultimately inform his downfall. We go on to talk about how Banquo has a different response to them. So now that we've done that and we've thought about this quote, you could click the link in the description and get yourself a free knowledge organiser. All you need to do is open your Google Drive using the link and make yourself a copy. So if you're a subscriber, you've got a Google account, all you need to do is click that link and you can have a free worksheet. You can fill this in with all of that information that we've just thought about and use that for your revision. Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask something you'd like to see me cover in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and keep revising.